You're just gonna die.
Okay.
Hey! Tonight we have a very special treat for you. We're watching a film called Slated. This film actually won Best Kill at the Weird Short Films Festival. The acting, the use of music, just the story, it's so rich. Oh, and by the way, we have the filmmaker, the writer-director. He's going to be speaking to us afterwards. So stick around for that. Make sure you leave a comment, ask questions. So happy that you're here. Happy watching.
I've seen things you people wouldn't even believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched C-beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in the rain.
Okay, great. Thank you. Seriously, Rick, we love you. You have had an amazing independent career. It's truly incredible.
Thank you. Sorry, thank you.
But I'm going to be honest. You never reached your summit, have you? We think you're ready.
Perfectly ready.
Okay, so I got the part.
What, this part? Oh, no. It's all wrong for you. No, not this part. This is better. So much better. You're just gonna die.
Okay, what is it?
That's it.
What's it?
You're just going to die. Rick, babe, darling, we know. The cancer, stage 4, terminal.
Tough break.
So young. No Academy nods yet.
Tick-tock.
This is it. This is your chance to leave a legacy. A true once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-1,000 fucking lifetimes. Die on camera for real. The most authentic anyone's ever been on film. Your final act. It's beautiful.
What is this? Somebody's sick idea of a joke?
No, it's genius. Think about it. You get to go out on your own terms, to die with intent. I mean, isn't that better than dying all alone in a hospital bed 3 months from now?
Rachel, this is madness. I get what you're trying to do, but I am leaving a legacy. And this just feels cheap.
Cheap? Cheap. Really? You know what's cheap? Your career. Free work, indie art house flicks, horror competitions. That's cheap.
I liked you in that one flick. Invited. Solid performance.
You can even choose the instrument of your demise. It's all you, babe. All you.
You are fucking crazy. This isn't art. And I don't give a fuck what you think. Especially now. Every role I ever took was with intent. And I didn't do it for the money or the fame. But I made something. I may have to die, but in some weird, wonderful way, I feel like some small part of me gets to live on through them. My answer is no.
I don't know how in the hell you sleep at night, but I know I'm gonna be getting the best sleep I've had in years, because I know that I never, ever have to deal with you again.
Oh.
Tell me you got that. Are you still rolling? Please tell me you're still rolling. Did you get that?
All right, we're gonna talk to Ed. I'm super stoked to talk to him. Very cool guy. Obviously, we loved his film. I'm sure you did too. Let's invite him in. Hey, Ed. How you doing? Well, everyone just watched your film, and just for the audience who may not know who you are, just introduce yourself and maybe just talk a little bit about your film. Maybe what inspired you to make this awesome film.
Yeah, awesome. Ed Castañeda. I am a writer, director, producer, Seattle, Washington. Been doing this for about 5 years now. My path is to switch careers, and this is it, man. I love it. So, specifically for Slated, this started as a part of a film competition called the Room 237 horror competition. Part of Cleveland, Ohio has a international horror film festival. I had another film in there, and they're like, "Hey, we're doing this competition," and I love competition, so I was like, "Yeah, let's go ahead and do that." It was like a 30-day, 25-day, something like that. We had written about 4 scripts of it, and of completely different movies. This one came from our composer, had the idea of crazy producer trying to kill someone through motivation through that. So Wallace Simpson, that was his idea that started it, and we wrote the script in a couple days, and shot it, and had all kinds of inspiration along the way. But basically, had like 20 days to finish it after we locked the script. So,
wow. So before I start asking you some questions specifically about this the script and this film. So when you submit to a festival, like a competition, you said like it was there's like a 30-day like window. So is that like 30 days to write the script, to shoot it, and then to edit it? Like how exactly does that work?
Yeah, for this one, yes, I think it was 28 days. So it was 28 days. They were going to give us I think 2 constraints. One was no more than 5 minutes runtime. And the second one, we were randomly going to get drawn a weapon. And the weapon had to be used in the movie either to kill someone or attempt to kill someone. And one of 2 random weapons that we got on there. So we got axe was the one that we got there. But we had 28 days to write, shoot, edit, and submit. And I do a lot of 48-hour film projects. I'm gearing up to do my 10th one in the past 5 years.
Wow.
So 28 days compared to 48 hours is like a lifetime, man. I was just like, oh my God, this is so much time. So like we had staggered it like, all right, let's do this. First 5 days, let's write the script. Next 5 days, let's do pre-prod. Let's shoot in the next 5, and we'll edit in the last 5. And of course, shit didn't work like that completely, but that was our spacing in terms of how we handled it.
Now, for the 30-day competition, are you paying to enter, or do you pay if they accept the film and they screen it?
For this competition, I don't think there was an entry fee because this competition was actually part of that festival, the International Horror Fest in Cleveland, Ohio, and we had got another film in. So I paid for that entry, and then they opened it up, and I think it was restricted to all the filmmakers that got in for that festival, but it was free. It was a free entry for that.
Oh, wow. Okay. So they allow the filmmakers who were accepted to also dip their toe in this creative pool and kind of show that. So it's like a double whammy in a good way. I don't know if a double whammy is ever good, but like it's a double whatever to showcase your talent. That's interesting.
Yeah, and this was the first year they did that, this competition, and I think now we're 2 years. They just finished their 3rd year of it, and now I think they're actually opening it up just the competition part to whoever wants to participate.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think about, I was a judge at I think it was a 24 or maybe it was a 48-hour competition. the only negative with those is that you don't have time to do the sound design and to do, really work with like a score or whatever. And one of the things that I loved about your film is that the way that you use music, it kind of reminded me of like old school Hollywood. There was like, and then of course it's revealed that they're in a sound stage. I mean, obviously you wouldn't have been able to do that at such a high level with just only 48 hours. So talk to me a little bit about like the use of music and how that came to be, because it's almost its own character. Like it really adds a lot to this.
That's awesome. So Wallace is gonna love you, man. So Wallace is our composer. Wallace is awesome, right? So, he actually does. I've done 9/48s, and he's composed everything. So we actually do a live. We do a composition for all the 48s now. Is what we do. So, we're and I think that Wallace and I are. He's good at working fast and kind of going in that. So. Since he was actually one of the producers on this as well. So we went into this, Wallace, Jim Dykes, who was the editor of this, three of us went in there as kind of the three creative minds behind this. So as we were doing the script, Wallace, I think, kind of knew, he was already familiar with kind of what's going on and stuff. But I mean, he didn't get the finished cut until like 3 days before vinyl there, like before we turned it in. So we thought we were going to give him a week, but I think we only gave him 3 days. But I think he knew the vibe. We leaned into inspiration from the characters in Blade Runner, and just trying to do that. Yeah, we had a soundstage here in Seattle, the Harbor Island Studios, so playing around in the set. So I think that was the vibe. We knew we were going to build this kind of fake set, like producers, and kind of go that route. So yeah. But yeah, he's awesome. So
yeah, it really kind of creates this. I mean, I want to kind of say like old Hollywood, like like the music just really creates this awesome atmosphere that's very unique. It's not just there to be suspenseful or this or whatever. Like it helps with the whole picture, and very rare does filmmakers understand that. I mean, you can use music and yeah, it might be for the moment, but like it was consistently kind of building this beautiful world, and the acting was spot on. I mean, talk to me about the casting and how you were directing these awesome actors.
Yeah. So just real quick, just back to the composition, that was all Wallace. Like when he got the cut, like there was we had a spotting session and a few notes back and forth. Largely, what you hear on this product was pretty close to what he produced on the first cut. So like all him understanding what we were doing and turning that into just like you're describing another part of just a character part of the movie and stuff like that. So yeah, all credit goes to Wallace. But the characters. So Mark Fox, who's the main, I guess, protagonist there, I guess, if you will. I've worked with him again in tons of 48s and non-48s. He actually first person I collaborated with on any film I did. And so him and I are getting a really good rapport. And what's great about having really talented actors is as long as you give them motivation, they understand their character's motivation, they'll kind of go from there. And that's really like, we had the script, we did a table read maybe a few days beforehand, and like him, Tabitha, who played the producer, and Roy, who played kind of the henchman type thing, we're just talking about motivation. That's where we were. Let's do the table read, but what we really want, you want this movie and him to die, and you want integrity, right? That was the motivation that kind of came through, that I think does carry through the aspect of it. But I mean, on the actual day of the set, I mean, a few takes, couple directions, and like, what I think my role as director is, and I got this from books and podcasts, but like listening I'm the first audience member, right? So if I see anything that's off or doesn't feel right, that's where I'm trying to say, hey, that doesn't feel right and stuff, and just give them that feedback and they can kind of run with it. But yeah, most of it, again, they understood the character, they understood the motivation, and delivered. There's one line in there where the original script had when they were trying to convince Mark's character to go, It's Beautiful was initially on Tabitha's character, it was Rachel, the character in there, and then Ruben, who played Roy, I switched it to him to give him some more dialogue. And as we were in there, Tabitha was like, you know what? I want to say this. Like, as we're here right now, this is what I should say this. So she came in, and like, there's one of my favorite parts of the scene where she changed it. Like, you can feel it. Like, she's trying to sell it to him, man. Like, not that she even believes it as a character, but she's trying to sell it, and I love it.
Yeah, she was great. With her acting is so good, and like she's not just doing the character. There's something like behind those eyes as a character. I'm not saying that this is really her, but there's like a psychoness that's not easy to capture. So how did you do that? Anyone could have walked into this role and just done it straight and whatever, and whatever. But she brings something special to it, and I'm curious if that specialness was talked about, or was it just her just making this amazing choice?
It's her. It's her making that choice. And but in talking to her process, she recognizes her eyes, right? I think there's a strong feature of her.
Yeah.
Like listening to her process, she's utilizing that, one of her superpowers in terms of how do I turn this into motivation from the character, highlighting one of theirs. So I was talking with her about it, and she was talking about down to the eye movement and how she was actually thinking about it as part of what she was doing, just part of the process. But you can tell, like, it's that whole trust the process thing. Like, she's utilized this thing. She's been in so many things by now that by the time she got to it, that's what she pulled from and stuff. So
Yeah, I mean it's so mesmerizing. I mean the acting is so good, but her, she's obviously believing what she's saying, and of course after when he dies, and she's like, did you get that? And like, but like she's just so everyone is consistent, and the dialogue is really good. How did you create that? I mean, dialogue is not so easy, and especially when you have like a time limit, it's hard to be this polished with such a time restraint.
Yeah. The dialogue, yeah, that was on the script. I think there was a few modifications, but that all came that was written into the script almost on the first draft of it. So, kind of back to like we got the prompts. Jim Wallace and I are sitting there on a Zoom call, and Wallace comes out with this idea. So we're like, yeah, let's write that one. And then Jim and I are like, I think there's something better. So we're like, we're gonna write some more scripts. So Jim wrote a couple, I wrote a couple, and I wrote the initial draft. I think Jim actually had a version of it as well, of this one, that Wallace's idea. And after the first 5 to 7 days, we had all these 5 scripts written. What came out of it was a good melding of my version, Jim's version, and like Wallace's kind of input on that. And then we took that, and I think we actually did do a table read there on Zoom with the characters kind of talking about it and refining it. And what I'm after in any script I do with dialogue, and it is hard, but I want to get to the point of like, I think if you have the motivation of the character, you can play with certain things, why would they say this, right? Does this align with the motivation that they're doing there? So even down to the beginning monologue that we ripped from Blade Runner and stuff. Initially, the first pass of that was to be or not to be, because we wanted kind of we wanted the movie to start off from a life decision, because that's what he's doing, right? His whole thing, that this is where his mind is and stuff like that. Let's put it in, he's auditioning for this character that's also in this life and death situation. And initially it was to be or not to be. And I don't even know who. Someone gave feedback on that's overused. We should use Blade Runner, Roy, the character, I think it's Roy and Blade Runner on there. I'm like, oh my God, that's brilliant. So we went there, and that was how we started from there.
What attracts you to these film competitions, these 48 competitions? You said that you did 5 or however many you did. Like, what's the draw in it? Because it's a lot of pressure, and I don't want to say that they're setting you up to fail, because obviously they're not, but like, a lot of people can crumble under that pressure, and why are you putting yourself through that?
Yeah. I love it, man. So There's a meme I saw not a couple years ago that said, "Me, I work really well under pressure. Also me, I don't work otherwise." Like, so having a deadline, that whole is so fucking true for me, man. Like doing that. But I mean, it's a dopamine hit at this point. Having going from really like blank slate idea to a finished product in 48 hours, it's a dopamine hit, man. It's like I thrive in that type of world. Obviously this is not all I want to do. So my whole, again, back to my career, there's feature films I want to be able to do. I want to be able to do them really, really, really well and invoke all kinds of emotion out of the audience. I'm not there yet, so everything I'm doing is trying to get reps. So even with the 48s, like this one coming up, I'm gonna do like a writer's room beat sheet type thing, which I don't even know what the hell I'm doing, but like let's try it out, right? And like we'll see if we can condense it. It's only gonna be a condensed version, but it just allows you to try new things, level up, get the reps, and also work with new people and a bunch of people. You can kind of, I've like with Wallace and Jim and some other folks, Mark, Tabitha, you develop relationships and you start, that just helps you kind of grow. So it's my film school, man. The 48 hours are my film school.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like making a film. You only learn when you make the film because it's not going to teach you distribution or marketing to the level when you actually have to do it. You know, you might be able, oh, we have to market a film, great, but you have to do it with no money. How are you going to get it out there? How are you going to deal with an actor that just isn't getting it or isn't prepared or shows up 2 hours late and you're so, like it like just getting in those reps I think is so important. I think short films is so important to produce. How much money does it cost to usually submit to a 48-hour competition?
I think it's like about $130. This is usually retro registration, somewhere between 100 and 150. Is
So
right
you
around.
pay before you play, right?
Yeah. You register as a team lead, you register. It's all volunteer. So you like one of the guys that that's so like I'm not trying to be cheap, but like no one's allowed to get paid as part of the whole 48 organization and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But I do have to feed people and I want to feed them well and make sure there's people aren't going into debt because of this and stuff
of
like that.
course.
But from a filmmaking point of view, it's probably one of the cheapest you can get, right? With
Yeah, no, but it's a good experience for other people, and it also allows people to create something. I mean, obviously, we all want to get paid, and obviously that's very important. But we all also need to do work. We also need to get in the reps, like you were saying, and to have that opportunity for the actors or cinematographer or an editor, whatever. I mean, it's at least you can walk away with something, and if you're working with someone that has a history of making good films, at least they know it's going to be at a certain level. So it can help them. And it's only 48 hours. So it's like you can, it's not that much time of a dedication.
yeah, but just real quick, like we have one coming up July 10th. I think my team is about 20 people right now, and maybe a third of them have never done a film before, right? And I love giving that opportunity there. One's a high school student, one just graduated, not graduated, just finished their freshman year in high school. And I think I might have another high school student in there. And like, just give them the opportunity, right? They're going to learn so much, just like you're
Yeah.
saying there. And like, that's what we're doing for 48 hours, right? It's so nice to be myopically focused on this is it. That don't think of anything else. This is it.
And do they do a screening, a live screening always, or is it
Yep.
sometimes online? Okay.
Yeah, if you turned it in on time, we'll do a screening at SIF Uptown's. It's an independent theater here in Seattle. They'll do a screening for it, and then if you win any awards, you get screened in the award selection, which is a couple weeks later and stuff.
Oh, okay. So if a festival were to do something like this, they can have a small screening, but the winners would be then maybe at the festival. Okay, so now I'm getting. So with these 48-hour challenges or whatever challenges that you're entering into, who you obviously are already set that you're the director, or like does everyone know their role, or like how does that work?
Uh, yeah, I learned the hard way, man. Like at first, I was just like, let's make a movie, and it worked out. We had fun, but it helps out to have very specific roles for people. I mean, we're so small. Even with 20 people, people are gonna cross and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
no, the way I do it is I'll set up a separate Discord server. and I'll interview people and talk to people and for specific roles. I went to the 48-hour committee here in Seattle. They do mixers for people creatives to meet each other, and I met someone that does video game art design, and I was looking for an art director, and I think I talked them into it's not that different. So they're coming in first time doing art director production design, and yeah, go for it and stuff like that. So, but that's their role. That's where
Yeah.
they'll be. So.
And you always obviously have the writers that are already, yeah, okay. And then
Yeah,
how much time do you give yourself to write a 48-hour script?
yeah. So the way I execute it is like what I'm doing this time is we'll get our, so 48 hours has 4 different prompts. You get a genre randomly drawn for you. You get, you have a character, a prop, and a line of dialogue that has to be included. We'll get those all at 7 o'clock on Friday. I'll do a brainstorming session. Whoever's on the team that wants to do it, this is where I'm trying to do the writer's room. And then about 9 o'clock, I'll kick everyone out who's not writing. I'm writing. I think that one of the mistakes I made in the past is so short that like trying to interpret another writer's story as a director was too much of a stretch, and I found I didn't connect with it, and like I didn't give a shit come 7 p.m. on Saturday because I wasn't bought into the story. Not the writer's fault. It's just I missed the connection. So I'm like, all right, I need to feel closer to it. So I'm the head writer. Sometimes I have some people writing with me, but I'll give and I'm only doing 5 pages because it has to be 4 to 7 minutes long. So it's a 5-page script. But I'll do from 9 to midnight, 1 a.m. tops is when I want to have that first draft of script submitted and stuff.
And then you send it to your actors, and then you do a table read, or you don't even have time?
Do we'll do early call time, usually 8 a.m. on Saturday, and the first thing we're doing with breakfast is the table read with the actor, the DP, and stuff. We'll do that, make any micro adjustments to it. I've had one where I didn't have dialogue for some. It was a mockumentary we got, so I was just like, "Here's your motivation. Here's what we're doing. Come up with your dialogue." On a couple of the actors, so they were off doing that. Like again, the people, if you get them into the story, what they're doing, people are so behind it. And they got to the point where they didn't want to share with me what they were going to say until we got on camera because they were so proud of the dialogue that they were doing for like these interviews and stuff like that. And it was awesome. But yeah, we'll do that table read. I do a quick little shot list with the DP and the AD at that point, and my goal is first shot by 10 or 10:30 a.m. on Saturday.
Oh, wow. And then usually how long does production last till?
Try not to go over 12 hours, so 8, 9 p.m., roughly around there is where we'll try to end up because after that, the editor and I go back, start cutting, man, and trying to get picture locked by 8 a.m. on Sunday is usually our goal.
Please tell me you're still rolling. Did you get that?
How good was that acting? And the ending? Oh, it's, oh.